of all of those, analyzing the sketch artists as if it's going to provide some great insight. How much of this, Colby, is because there is a love of the reality show, there is a desire to talk about Donald Trump, but there is not a desire, in a way, to actually talk about the case, and that's because this case in particular is so thin, is so weak, and that's not us saying that's almost every legal analyst who doesn't have a political axe to grind. Every former prosecutor I talked to in New York goes, there's just not a case there.
Well, especially up until today, there's been the trial really started sort of in earnest today, right? Like in terms, or yesterday, I should say. And up until then, it was just all conjecture and looks on faces and this sort of fake news of gas passing. And, you know, it does seem as though he may have nodded off, but like who among us hasn't gotten tired in an event like that? So I think that shows him as being human. But whether or not the case is thin, I'll tell you one thing that was really interesting today was that David Pecker basically revealed that the National Enquirer was working hand in glove with the Trump campaign. Is that illegal to the degree that Alvin Bragg is? That's a stretch, obviously, to say, but it's another side of the media angle where, you know, there is coordination. And is it really that different from what we see on a lot of left-leaning cable news outlets that are recovering the story as though it's fait accompli, although it's just assumed that he's guilty and not, you know, up to the jury to decide.
Right, and today we heard about that there was this sort of conversation that happens on Fridays between the legal analysts on a number of the left-leaning channels to discuss the cases against Donald Trump. Right. I thought it was fascinating, just in terms of process, right, that you've now got live blogging on TV of the trial itself. Both CNN and MSNBC are putting up a live blog and sort of talking about the moments that they can report on as it goes through. The screen grabs look remarkably similar. And as fascinating as, you know, David Pecker admitting kind of the obvious on the stand might be, it is at the expense of coverage of what's happening on America's college campuses, right? These sort of massive protests. Live pictures right now, I believe, of Columbia University, where the protesters say they are going to hold a press conference this evening at 8 p.m. So they feel the college or the university is going to come negotiate with them. Why, we don't know. But for a media that was so obsessed with covering the BLM protests, right, and so whitewashed a lot of what was being demanded and said, 4 years later, they haven't changed. They haven't learned anything, have they?
Well, it's stunning that there are people that are self-identifying as pro-Hamas, whether they're being hyperbolic or not. It doesn't matter. They're identifying as pro-Hamas, and they're openly threatening pro-Israel Jewish students in a really sort of unsettling and threatening and violent way. And the fact that, you know, Columbia is just sort of the flashpoint, but it appears to be spreading to a number of campuses. Yeah. Look, I get it. The problem is that this is a complicated story that no one wants to talk about it because it's so ugly.
Yeah, but hold on, Colby. Colby, I'm going to give you the last word. I'm going to give you the last 30 seconds. Hold on. It's not that complicated, though. If there were African-American students being attacked, okay, and told to go back to Africa, if there were gay students who are being chanted at, gay students have entered the Quad, we're going to form a human chain to stop them, MSNBC and CNN would be losing their minds over that. Why is it okay when it's Jews?
100%. Well, it's not. And what I meant to say was the underlying conflict in the Middle East going back 50 years is complicated. You're right. It's, as I just said earlier, it's moral clarity. You don't threaten students based on their belief, their religion, anything. And this should be page one, above the fold, leading the story. And instead, we're getting car shots of Trump commuting to the courtroom because you got to fill airtime. So it's not a proud moment for American media right now.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.